Hey, in this video, you're going to see how you can send a welcome email to your customer when they buy your product in MemberVault. There is also a handy swipe email in the lesson, so if you lack inspiration or you're not sure what to add to your welcome email, then we have got you covered. The reason we're doing this is because MemberVault doesn't send emails, so that's why we need MailerLite. As an overview, the process would look something like this. Someone buys your product in MemberVault, then some information is sent to MailerLite, which includes their customer details and the group they should be added to. And when they're added to that group in MailerLite, that triggers your welcome email. So there are really two main steps in this, and we're going to go through that right now. Step one is to set up the actions in MemberVault to actually send those details to MailerLite. We go into products, and then you click edit for the product you want to trigger a welcome email for. And that will load up your product screen. Scroll all the way to the end and you'll see an action section. So it'll be your product name with actions in the title. Click add action. And I'm going to just explain what these four sections mean. So when this happens, just means when your customer or when something happens to your customer in your MemberVault account. And for this purpose, we want it to be added to product. But as you can see, there are lots of other actions. But for this scenario, added to product is what you need. How? That just means how has the action happened? How has it come about? So in this case, how have they been added to your product? There are lots of actions here. So there's manually added from an external tool or they've signed up by themselves, but we want to leave it as any to cover all bases. If you want it to break that down a little bit more, then you can do one for each one. But for this tutorial, we're going to leave it as any. To do this part of it is then what you want to do when that action happens. Now, wherever you see tags in MemberVault, they just mean groups in MailerLite. It does take some getting used to, but you'll get there. So just know tags equal groups. In this case, when someone's added, we want to add them to a group or add a tag as is shown here. But in your head, you'll read this as add to a group. So we leave it as that. There are other options here, but we're going to leave it as add a tag. And here is where we specify the group name. Ideally, you want to name this something you can recognize later. So typically it will be your product name and maybe purchased or bought or signed up. So I'm going to go with MailerLite, MemberVault, purchased. So that's the group that's going to be created in MailerLite. And click away or click any save button, and that will save that for you. Now I'm just going to show you a really cool thing that's just happened. Now, if you jump over to MailerLite and I refresh the screen here that's showing groups, that group will now appear. There you go. So just doing it that way creates the group for you in MailerLite and you don't have to worry. You can also do it the other way around. You can create the group first in MailerLite by going to subscribers, click create the group button, create your group, and then you just have to copy and paste that name in here so that they match. They have to match. So if you're creating the group first in MailerLite, when you paste it in MemberVault, make sure they match. So don't type it in. It's just easier to just copy and paste. So you're definitely sure that they match. So this way, when MemberVault comes to use it, it will send that name over to MailerLite and it will find a match and add them to the right group. So that's just something to bear in mind depending on how you like to do it. I prefer to do it this way by doing it in MemberVault first, so I know the right group is created for me. And that's just the first part done. So now whenever someone buys this product in MemberVault, they will be added to that group in MailerLite. Nice and easy. The next thing you need to do now is to create your welcome email. So back into MailerLite we go. Click on automation. Click the create workflow button. And then you get a screen where you get to name your workflow. And here we're just going to give it MLMV welcome. So we're going to say it's the welcome workflow for this product. Feel free to name it whatever you want to, but this just keeps the name convention going and it makes things easy to find later. Now we've been talking about groups a lot, and that's what we're going to use to trigger this workflow. So under workflow trigger, you select when subscriber joins a group. And then you get to select the group that we're going to trigger this from. And that's the purchase group that we've just created. Click on save and the left hand side will change to have this plus icon there. And that's where you add your email step. So you click the plus icon, click email, and you get to fill in the details here. If you remember, I talked about the handy swipe file. So there, the suggestion for your subject is welcome to, and then your product name, NLMV, and then you click on design email, and you get to choose what style you're going to use for your email. If you're new to MailerLite and you haven't sent an email before, then simply click the choose button for the drag and drop editor shown there. If you have templates already present or you've sent emails before that you like the look of, then feel free to choose the other tabs and click a template, or choose your recent emails, choose that one to be the basis of your email. But we're just going to assume that you're new to this and click on choose on the drag and drop editor. And now it's time to add content to your email. So once this loads eventually, you will see there will be pre-done sections for you that you just need to replace the content for. And there it is. So you can change that image, add an image you want. Remember the swipe file that I talked about. So you could just copy paste that first section into that first bit there, and just do that as you go along. Keep going, add all your content in, add your buttons if you need to, or more images. But I'm just going to quickly tell you what key pieces of information that you need in your email. But I'm just quickly going to tell you the key pieces of information that you need to have in your email. And that is the section there that talks about the username and password. So I'm going to paste that there so you can see. So firstly, you need to have your Vault URL in there. That tells them where they need to go. So they've just bought your product and they're in your Member Vault account, but they may not know what that link is. So you tell them where to go, and some people like to add bookmark this link so that they know to go back to it. And whenever someone's created in Member Vault, their username and password is usually their email address. And that's where that syntax comes in. So there, when this email is sent, MailerLite will replace that with the actual recipient's email address. So it will just do that automatically for you. You just need to tell it that that's what needs to happen there. And that's why we have that syntax there. You can add more syntax if you want to in your email, and that's just by clicking that variable button. And you get to choose other fields to add to your email. But that's how you do that if you're curious. And that's just the three main things you need to have in your email. It might also be nice to add direct links to your modules or your lessons if you wanted to. So if you wanted to pinpoint them to a particular lesson, or you've got a teaser module or an intro that they need to go through first, you can get the link for that by going to your Member Vault account, go back to the product, click edit there. So say we wanted to get a module link, for example. You click on that little cog there, then choose either the product link or the one-click link, and that will just do that for you. And paste it into your email, and they will automatically go in there. Once we're done editing our email, you click Done Editing. I usually suggest you use the preview and test options there to test your email. Make sure it looks right in your email account, so on desktop or mobile as well. Mobile is very important because more and more people are using their mobile phones now. So just make sure the email looks right and does what it should do. Then you'll be taken back to this screen once you're done editing, and you simply need to click that toggle at the top right and turn your workflow on. And that's it. So if we go back to the list now, you can see that it's listed and it's turned on and active. So what we've done now is whenever someone buys your product in Member Vault, they will get added to that group. And when they're added to that group, that will trigger that email. And that is how you trigger a welcome email from MailerLite.